Hi there, and welcome to the presentation of AdVital. This is a software that I created as Dr. Seethal Patel. I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon and general surgeon. So what do we do for you? The biggest things that we do for you in terms of an aesthetic practice and a med spa is we increase the amount of money that you make a month by $41,317. We decrease the amount that your staff has to do by about 48 hours a month, and we increase the amount of reviews from 8 to 10 additional reviews each month. This is every month for you. Who am I? I'm a board certified plastic and general surgeon with a fellowship in craniofacial. I've been in private practice for 6 years. We have 2 locations, a quad A surgery center, and I also have a partner in the practice. I grew up on a motel, and therefore I learned about business from all the nuts and bolts from that part of it. And I also had this time because I worked at the front desk to be self-taught in programming. The biggest key factors that I want you to take away from this whole presentation is that 75% of your time that you have with your children is before they're 12. So it's important how you allocate your time and how efficient your practice is, so that way you can treat the patients that you want, but also have work-life balance. What did we learn from our practice? So in the 6 years, I made all the mistakes in marketing, sales, and operations, and I bundled it up into a software to remove the repetitive tasks, remove the micromanagement, give staff the accountability with their own KPIs to manage themselves, and keep the entire process of workflow for the patient journey in place regardless of personnel. The ultimate goal of AdVital was to give you clarity in your practice and Medspa of the staff and the marketing, and we were able to do that from attribution to revenue. We provide more leads, more patients, and reviews. The way that we do it by encompassing a communication hub with the messaging back and forth that's connected to social media, and then coupling that with the organization. This is a drag and drop intuitive feature from going from left to right, so that's all your staff has to do. On the back end, we're doing all the complexity in terms of the automations and nurturing process that these folks need to have to do the next thing in your practice. We also automate the review process for your practice. So the current journey for practices right now, they acquire patients from different sources, all these fragmented leads from your website, social media, a billboard, a magazine, any of that part of that. It then gets qualified. Whether majority of these are unqualified or qualified, it depends on your marketing standpoint. After that, they become a quoted patient. From becoming a quoted patient, what's the follow-up and nurturing process to actually get them to complete that procedure? From that, they actually get procedures done. Now, if you look at the funnel of this, it is almost like a nail in the coffin. It's only 3% in terms of conversion of what you're spending money on to acquire all these leads. Now, what we're able to do is transform that to our journey, where it comes in from social media, website, phone calls, SMS, it all comes in, and you get an instantaneous response to get that less than 5 minutes from the MIT data. That actually helps your conversion to the next step. In terms of the next step, it being online booking and then a consult fee that's added to it to help qualify those patients pre-consultation. This also works 24/7, 365, and integrates with the EMR, so there's no double booking, no mistakes that happen. After that, those quoted patients actually get nurturing and automations that help address the objections. 42% of the patients that actually get a quote from us actually have that procedure done within a year. Now the question is, do they get it done with you? The only way that happens is with the nurturing process. We also, after the procedure is done, have automated review quests. We cross-pollinate with all the other things that we do, and we have referral programs that also can be started. What does that do? It creates repeat patients at a 9% conversion. That's 3x from the current journey. Overall in your practice, this increases efficiency and profitability, decreases the response rate, goes from 2 hours to 1 minute. On average, practices take 2 hours to respond. Their booking rates double, and their staff hours go down per staff member of what they actually have to do to get their job done with the patient flow. How do we do it? We do it by multiple amount of features. And these features are not super important. All that you need to know is that we do all the above to solve the problem. And the problem is leading patients with breadcrumbs to do the next thing in your practice and not somewhere else. Now the marketing and staff transparency, the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your marketing, and you need to find out where that is. But the only way that you know that is if you're actually seeing where you acquire patients from and tracking that all the way to revenue. Not click-through rates, not impressions, not eyeballs seeing your stuff. You actually want to know what's converting and what's not. We're able to tell you that because we sync with everything from the top of the funnel all the way through down to your EMR where the revenue sits. We're able to diagnose a problem, whether it's marketing, whether you're getting qualified leads or not qualified leads, and these patients can afford it or can't afford it, or have a too high BMI or an adequate patient to actually have the procedure you want to have done. And then is it conversion rates within your staff, within your front desk, from phone calls to booked appointments, or whether it's going from a quota patient to a procedure. We're actually able to make data-driven decisions on the personnel and the stuff that we're actually doing in our practice to be efficient. Again, what we do for you, about $42,000 extra a month, decrease the amount of time that your staff has to do so they can actually focus on patient care, and increase the reviews, right? Ultimately, this is money, time, and power because reviews lead to word of mouth. Word of mouth is the only thing that decreases over time. When it decreases over time, that means you're not having to pay more for it versus everything else that you do in marketing. If you want to learn more of how to improve your practice, you can scan this QR code and take the blind spot quiz, and that can help give you a strategy to fix these things. Remember, I have nothing to sell you other than your time. Reach out to AdVital, click link in bio.